All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the Market Speculator, with the trade report for Friday, November 11th, 2018. We're ending the week and ending November here in a pretty good spot. I'd say this week for the bullish scenario has been best case scenario. So, we've had this run off the bottom. We made or tested the low and did not fail. And on top of that, we're getting some really strong market breadth indications. I was working with a trader the other day, and I've already talked about a number of the market breadth indicators that we are seeing improve. One, we're seeing a lot of stocks here improving. We're seeing market breadth improve in terms of breakouts. Earnings season is getting better. While we're seeing less stocks reporting earnings, we're seeing more strong breakouts. This is all good for the market. We saw a higher low here. And what's interesting here that the trader I was working with mentioned, we've talked about RSP, which is the equal weighted ETF for SPY. Look at how where SPY has made the low here and RSP has made a much better higher low. That's telling us that within the S&P 500, it's not just the heavy weighted stocks, it's actually the rest of the stocks that are doing really well. So this is all good for the market. Market breadth is improving. Now we are coming into strong, heavy resistance here with both the 200 and the declining 50-day moving averages converging. Now the nice thing is we already have tested this range just a couple of weeks ago. So this isn't the first time. So that's good. But, at some point here, we're either going to fail or we're going to break out. And that's what we want to see here. Today, if we just hang out at this level, even if we're down a little, up a little, whatever it is, if we can just keep these gains and not start to fall here, I'd say as long as we're above the 9 and hold this big candle here, it's a positive this week. And then we'll see next week, the week after, do we end up breaking through? And it's kind of what we're positioned for here. We've got 3 long positions. We're seeing market breadth improve, and we're playing for this break. And if it does break, we're going to crush it with these 3 positions. So hopefully that's what happens here. And if we look at the Qs, also very strong, a little farther away from the moving averages, and then IWM as well has improved. Not quite as much, but we are seeing improvement. Areas that are very strong, we've talked about the BRIC companies, India, China, and we've got all that China trade talk right now. Brazil, of course, which we've kind of lagged on this trade, but still setting up here. I know a number of you have taken these trades. Very strong. Software, we've been talking about improving, very strong. Interestingly, financials are starting to improve now and have put in this higher low. Now we are in biotech, and biotech has been showing some strength. IBB here, XBI, which relates to our LABU position. That's a good segue into our current positions. LABU here, we're playing for a move off this low, kind of a rubber band or bottom kind of setup. I would say more of a rubber band. It's not really a very strong bottoming formation, but biotech, when it runs, tends to really run. So it's low risk, high reward. If it can hit 60 and test the top of the range here, we end up getting, I think, 3.5 to 1 on it. So very, I like the setup there in LABU. We entered at 47.83. We're almost 2 points ahead right now. And then Lulu, we just entered a couple of days ago at 128.90. We're up to 132.50. So this is doing exactly what we wanted to see here. Continuation off the remount of the 9. Now we want to see it get up here around 140. And again, we've got great risk reward on this one. And then Netflix as well, our entry around 281, upper 281s. And we're at 286. Close to 286, we'll say about 5 points above, almost 5 points above our entry. But again, we're going for the target up in here and offers very good risk reward. So hopefully the market improves. We get that break we want. And if that happens, we're going to, all 3 of these positions should do well. Now, I've got 3 positions. I do not want to add more yet. I basically don't really want to look to adding positions unless we break here. And when we do break, I would probably take profits on at least 1 or 2 and then add some more positions. So I'm not going to, but if you are going to add positions, number of good focus list stocks. One, the BRIC countries we just talked about. Then we've got a bunch of stocks here. BABA, we've been talking about these China stocks. They're still at good spots to enter. Sina as well. Baidu. I would take BABA or Baidu actually over Sina right now. Win is putting in a bottoming formation here. Now it came up against resistance here, so it might take a little to break, but it's looking like a bottoming formation. I think you could enter here. Team is continuing off that remount. Maybe it's a little extended now, but still looking very strong. Under Armour breaking to highs. I don't like the candle right now, but maybe if it consolidates for a few days. Orly, Alta, all relative strength stocks. Cyber as well, very strong here. Fay has been strong. Maybe not a good entry at this point. And then other fangs, Facebook is actually improving above the nines, kind of similar to what Netflix is doing right now. You could enter right where it is. Amazon needs to get over these moving averages, much like the market. Apple, I know a lot of Apple's been kind of rough right now, especially with the trade talks. But if it gets up over the 9, it is very low risk, high reward here. So heading into the weekend, I'm probably not going to do anything. I'm content with my 3 positions. Remember, a group mentorship session in the afternoon today, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern time.